Millions of Americans are suddenly facing a terrifying question: what happens when the money for food simply stops? As the government shutdown enters its second month, a federal judge has just ordered the Trump administration to pay out SNAP benefits that were on the verge of expiring. But behind that ruling lies a political storm, a mix of courtroom battles, Senate fights, and new revelations that could shake Washington to its core. In this video, we'll unpack everything: the ruling, the blame game, and a new investigation that some lawmakers are calling worse than Watergate. Stay with me till the end, because what's happening here could affect your wallet, your grocery bill, and the power balance of America itself. Before we dive in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps the channel grow and keeps you informed on every twist and turn in this ongoing shutdown saga. The ruling that just came down is shaking Washington. 25 states sued the Trump administration, arguing that millions of Americans were about to lose access to food assistance because the government refused to release emergency SNAP funds. The Department of Agriculture said it didn't believe it could legally use those funds, claiming that since the program was inactive during the shutdown, the money couldn't be touched. But the court disagreed. The judge ruled that the administration must pay those benefits, saying the shutdown shouldn't leave families without food. Across the country, that decision hit like a lifeline. Around 42 million Americans rely on SNAP: families, children, seniors, and veterans. Many have been waiting, uncertain if help was coming. In cities like Houston, nonprofits scrambled to fill the gap, launching food drives and emergency distributions. Lines wrapped around blocks as people tried to stretch what was left. Food banks warned they might run out within days. Meanwhile, in Washington, the political fight only got uglier. President Trump took to Truth Social, writing, "If the court gives us the appropriate legal direction, it will be my honor to provide the funding, just like I did for the military and law enforcement." But he went further, accusing Democrats of hurting people for their own political reasons and demanding that 5 Senate Democrats vote for a clean funding bill the House had already passed. At the same time, frustration inside the Senate is boiling. The shutdown is dragging into its second month, and President Trump is calling for the Senate to go nuclear, to drop the 60-vote filibuster rule and allow a simple majority to pass funding. Some Republicans, like Texas Senator John Cornyn, say the blame lies squarely with Democratic leadership. Cornyn called it a dumpster fire of Chuck Schumer's making, arguing that 5 more Democratic votes could end it all. But Cornyn also warned against killing the filibuster, saying that if Democrats ever control Congress, they could transform the nation completely, from granting statehood to D.C. and Puerto Rico to rewriting immigration laws in their favor. So while Washington debates over power and procedure, millions of ordinary Americans are waiting for food. But as if that wasn't enough, another scandal has exploded right in the middle of it all. A growing controversy known as Operation Arctic Frost is sparking outrage in the Senate. Republican lawmakers claim the Biden Justice Department and Special Counsel Jack Smith compiled what they're calling an enemies list, targeting GOP senators, conservative donors, and political organizations with sweeping subpoenas. Senator Ron Johnson revealed that investigators issued nearly 200 subpoenas covering over 1,700 pages of data requests. He said, "This is just the tip of the iceberg." Senator Cornyn went even further, calling it worse than Watergate, accusing the Justice Department of spying on sitting senators in a political fishing expedition designed to gather evidence against Trump. Cornyn promised a full investigation, saying if it can happen to U.S. senators, it can happen to anyone. Republicans now want Special Counsel Jack Smith to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. They're demanding that the Department of Justice release all related documents, accusing them of stonewalling Congress for months. Democrats have mostly stayed quiet on this, calling it a distraction, but the allegations have already deepened the divide in an already tense Capitol. All of this, the SNAP crisis, the shutdown, the Arctic Frost scandal, is colliding at once. What began as a fight over funding is now a full-scale battle over trust, legality, and political power. For the 42 million Americans relying on food assistance, this isn't about political theater, it's about survival. Some are days away from losing access to groceries. Nonprofits are overwhelmed. Economists warn that the longer the shutdown lasts, the harder it'll be to recover. And with each day that passes, the pressure mounts on both sides. President Trump says he's ready to restore funding the moment the court authorizes it. Democrats argue he doesn't need permission, that he's using the courts as cover to avoid responsibility. Each side is playing for leverage, but the real cost is being paid by the people waiting at the checkout counter, wondering when relief will finally come. The truth is, Washington's gridlock has stopped being about who's right and who's wrong. It's about who will blink first, and who gets blamed for the fallout. With midterm elections approaching and public frustration at an all-time high, both parties are walking a political tightrope. The shutdown has become a symbol of something deeper, how far America's leaders are willing to go just to win the next fight. So here we are, a nation caught in a standoff between courts, Congress, and the White House. A federal judge has spoken, the pressure is on, and 42 million Americans are watching closely. But the bigger story might not be about benefits or funding, it's about trust in the system itself. If the government can shut down and leave millions hungry, what does that say about accountability? And if political investigations can target lawmakers, what does that mean for democracy? This shutdown may end with a deal, but the damage it's already done will outlast the signatures on any bill. Because beyond all the speeches and statements are real people trying to feed their families. And that's something no headline can fully capture. Tell me what you think, who's really responsible for this chaos? Should the court have forced the administration to act, or was it overreach? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share this video. Because in the next one, we'll explore how this shutdown could shift control of Washington heading into 2025, and what that means for every American. Stay tuned. The story isn't over.